we're going to wait for 1 or 2 followers and then we'll get going on this. I don't know how to edit this part out, so you're just going to have to watch me drink Gatorade. I don't know how Instagram Live works, to be honest, that well. I'm not too sure. So we'll get going with it. Let's get going. Welcome anybody. If you have questions, please come on in. The purpose of this is I see a big problem happening in the industry. Maybe not a problem, but I see a bunch of challenges coming our way as an industry. It's been here already. I saw it 2 years ago, and now it's just coming to the forefront. And I'm having a lot of conversations with mortgage brokers, and some of these are like extremely successful, $100 million plus brokers, where their business is down 30, 40, 50, 60%. And it's not just coming out of COVID. There's a different fear right now. And what's going on is the old way of brokering, like we brokered in 2010, 2015, even 2020 to some degree, where you build up a book of business and you just churn the book. And you don't really have, like, you're not a mortgage planner, but you have a really good client journey and you give good advice and you're really good on the phone and you crush discovery calls and you maybe refinance them every 3-4 years and you flip-flop them between lenders and then maybe you get their renewal call. Like, that way of brokering will not exist in 2028. Your business will just die off. And I'm not just coming to this conclusion myself. I'm having top producers going, Ryan, can you train me on this X, Y, or Z? Because I have a problem here. I'm buying down a lot of rates. I have staff I have to pay for. I'm working for 20, 30, 40 basis points max on files. These are people who did $100 million, $50, $80 million, big producers, good producers with a good book. But now there's holes in the boat. There's holes in the boat of their book. They're not active on social. They never built up a brand there. They basically, their move was they get you on calls and they're very good at wordsmithing things around and building trust on the call. And then they would just shit on other lenders. That is their strategy, is, hey, don't go to RBC because they have 10% prepayment privileges. And if your spouse dies, you have to requalify, and that's not really a good spot. So that tells me we have problems. And so I just want to lay out a couple things around, should you be niching out? That's the $1 million question. Should you be niching out? Yes, 1,000,000%. I would not do a mortgage business now if I wasn't niching out to some degree. There's a bunch of different types of niching. So you've got some people who just focus on social media and they build a brand around them and their personality. Do they offer anything spectacular behind the scenes? No. Are they awesome mortgage brokers? Some of them are, some of them aren't. But what they're doing is they're doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on social media. So how do they do that? They're buying, I'm going to get into other niches too, but they're doing, content days. They're having people with fancy cameras and studios, and they're upping the production value of their videos. But they're going wide on a lot of the stuff they talk about. But they're building up trust, they're creating that connection, and they're building a brand online. That is a niche. Okay, you being a social media influencer-ish in the mortgage space will get you more swings at the plate with more clients. Absolutely, without a doubt. So here's the example. There's a lot of people focusing on paying off your mortgage faster, which could be done through Manulife One Power of the Paycheck, debt consult, debt swap. Those are some strategies where there's not heavy lifting on the learning side. But that's speaking to a wide range of people. So you could speak, there's pros and cons to this. I'm going to map out a couple of specific examples, because this is just shit you need to think about. You have to think about this if you want to be around 2028. So if that's my avatar and I'm reaching out to people where I'm going to improve their cash flow through refinances and whatnot, that's a wide range of people. When the file comes in, I have to be really good at overcoming objection, and I have to keep the eye on the prize of where we're going with this. Like, why are they going to stick with me? Why are they going to work with me for a rate premium? Because they're going to pay 20, 30 basis points more to work with me than they would at RBC, for example. And so I have to be really good at overcoming objections and good on the phone. But when I get the deal in, I'm only in for 3-4 hours in the file, and I get paid $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. That type of model. But everyone has pros and cons as a mortgage broker. We all have strengths. And I'm just asking you to identify what your strength is, lean into it a bit, or make up the deficit. If you're not good at convincing people to work with you for a 20, 30 basis point premium, then you need to change the game. And you need to go into something where you feel valued from day one, and the avatar picks themselves. You're not plucking out people looking for refis and cash flow. The avatar picks themselves, and when they come into the world, maybe there's more heavy lifting on the file, and I'll give you an example. Maybe there's more heavy lifting on the file, but you don't lose the file. So you at least know you're going to get paid, and the rate doesn't matter as much. And so if you're not building you need to be building a social media brand. Like if you're not doing that, you will be dead. You will die in this industry. You'll be a dinosaur. So the other flip side of that is we go from refinancing people, improving cash flow, paying up their mortgage fast, where it goes wide, speaks to a general audience, but I'm going to lose some people there to the banks, but it only takes me 3 or 4 hours to earn. That's cool. The other flip side is cash damming, reverse mortgages. Let's just use reverse mortgages, for instance. Reverse mortgages are not going away. And the avatar gets identified right out of the gate, 55 plus. People who own a home, like right there, it identifies itself. And if you become an expert at it, there are advanced strategies within reverse mortgages, as an example, that you can use. Now you set yourself apart. Now interest rate doesn't matter as much because there's only one game in town. Now you're the professional, the true professional at it. It can't be duplicated by other people. Your marketing all speaks to that. And you feel extremely valued from day one, which might fill your cup. You will not lose clients to rate because there's only so many games in town where those files can go. You can actually, in that instance, you can hand that lead off to one of the reverse mortgage companies and they'll do the phone call, they'll do the deal, they'll do the fulfillment, and they'll still pay 100 basis points. So I'm just using that as an example to get you thinking. It could be BFS. BFS could be your avatar. But then all the content you make should be around BFS. It shouldn't be around Credit Challenge, New to Canada. It should just be talking to BFS people. Because if you don't niche out, you're in trouble. If you're a general, if you don't stand for anything, stand for something, you fall for anything. And so I see a lot of people making that mistake, and unfortunately they're not good at the soft skill. And the soft skill is talking to people and explaining the value adds up front, understanding what their pain point is, explaining how you're going to solve that, hand-holding them along the way, executing the strategy, getting them mortgage-free faster. There's a lot of things the check marks that need to be checked off, a lot of boxes that need to be checked to get that right. And if you're not that, just say, I'm not really good at that. Okay, then go find a niche where you take out that element of you needing to be good at sales. And cash damming is one. Landlords who own 1 or 2 properties or who have basement suites. Those are unlimited leads there. And you just need to get better at executing the strategy, understanding the numbers, and spending 8 to 10 hours in a file, but you know you're going to get paid. Right? So different skill set there, right? Different strength. And we all need to look in the mirror and identify what we're good at and what we're not good at. And then tailor your business around it. Some of you aren't good at understanding mortgages, nor do you want to be. You want to know enough, but you're comfortable on camera. You like the social aspect of it. You want to build a brand and like a culture around it. And you may show local things in the city. And hey, I'm a mortgage person. Here's the coffee shop. Here's the food place. Here's the farmer's market. This is me. I'm helping clients. It's a little more fluffier, but there's like an influencer type vibe. That's freaking cool. Call it what it is. Then you don't have to go learn cash damming, reverse mortgages, right? You're going to lose files, but you're okay with that because you'll get more swings at the plate because you have a brand online which will bring people into your world. There are people running that business right now. They're probably a 5 out of 10 on mortgages, but they're a 8 or 9 out of 10 on social media. So what type of broker are you? Right? What type? So if you have a question, ask. I only have a couple more minutes, 10 more minutes on here or so. Then I have to go into some training. But it's a thing. If we're not talking about this, we're not getting real with it, you're going to continue to buy rates down. You're going to continue to feel like you're not valued. You're going to continue to bumble your words on discovery calls. You're going to get frustrated. And guess what that's going to do? It's going to be a ripple effect with that. And it starts going into the rest of your day, the rest of your business. And now that to-do list you had of money-making tasks, you're going to feel less motivated to do it because it's just going to bring in the same type of person that you keep losing deals on, that keep going to the bank, and you keep getting crushed. So that's why I want to talk about this. And I'm going to make a podcast on this and go a lot deeper on it, but I wanted to bring that here. And this is something that just no one's talking about, unfortunately, right? The riches are in the niches, but we're being forced right now to niche out. You're being forced. Top producers, so I'm trying to make you feel better about yourself. Top producers are buying down a lot of rates, are losing files to banks, are doing, instead of doing 80 million, they're doing 35 or 40 million, and they're stressed out as hell, and they're not enjoying life, and they're getting jaded on the industry, and it's because they have holes in the boat. The old way of brokering does not frickin' work anymore. It does not work. And so what type of broker are you going to be? Me personally, someone asked me, gun to my head, what do I do? I go one of two ways. There's one of two niches I personally do. I do the mortgage-free faster, and improve your cash flow with those 3 strategies I talked about. Manulife One, purchase Power the Paycheck, debt swap, or debt consolidation. Pretty basic stuff, but I'm good at selling the vision and I already built my mortgage business previous. I don't broker anymore, but I built that previous on that vision of selling. You can retire faster by buying one investment property, not rocket science. You refinance your principal residence, we buy an investment property, but you need me more than I need you. You can go do this on your own, sure, but you don't get me in your corner. You're gonna fuck up. You're gonna make mistakes, and it's gonna be costly, and I cost zero. You pay a premium on interest rate to work with me, but that's cool. We can write a lot of that off too. Okay, so that was how I decided to do it. I would do that now today, but I'm good at that. That's one of my superpowers. If that wasn't one of my superpowers and something I really did contemplate doing was reverse mortgages. I would go reverse mortgages because my avatar gets defined, boom, from day one. Every single piece of content, boom, it's going to cut through all the noise on social. AI on these platforms is going to align me and my avatar together. 55 plus, GVA, GTA, areas where there's a lot of equity. Like, I don't have to go into reverse mortgages, but you get it. And there's other advanced strategies on that. So then I would do that. I would run webinars on that, same as I would on Mortgage Free Faster or Improve Cash Flow. I'd do one-to-many coaching. I'd run webinars on that, and then I'd put them into a drip campaign, and I'd get them to fill out a survey. And if they hit the survey the right way and answered it the right way, boom, their contact info just flies out to one of Bloom or Equitable, one of the reverse mortgage people. And I have my whole back end figured out, and I turn into a marketing machine around reverse mortgages. And they're not going anywhere, and they pay well, and I'm helping people. So that's where I go. So you're sitting here, a lot of you are sitting here scrambling going, I don't really know who I am. I'm kind of serving everybody. I'm talking to everybody. I'm getting crushed. Yeah, pick a lane, man. Pick a lane. Pick something. You're being forced to. It's not like I don't know, I don't want to. Call it what it is. Are you a BFS specialist? Are you a private mortgage specialist? You have to live with that. So I'd put on a whiteboard and I'd identify what your strengths are. And some of you, I know, are just not good on the phone. You're not good at handling objections. So you either go and get good at that, or you switch gears and you go find someone. I was talking to someone on my team this morning, actually yesterday, and she's like, I'm going to go the CashDam route because I love the numbers, and then I feel valued. I know my avatar is, my marketing gets aligned with that. I'll deal with working longer in files because I know I'm going to get paid. And I was like, perfect. Now she just has to explain what it is. And the beautiful thing with cash jamming, you're not asking people to go and buy. Like when I did my business, I was convincing people to use equity from their home, rejig their principal residence to 30-year AM, put those funds to buying an investment property that they had to manage or get a property manager to. So I was completely changing the dynamic of their family. But I did, and it worked really well. With cash jamming, you're not doing that. They're not putting another dollar in. You're just taking the 1 or 2 properties or the basement suite they have, the revenue. You're just restructuring the flow of funds to get those write-offs to be mortgage free faster. So then that becomes what you need to learn, how to do that for different scenarios. I would still shrink my avatar down, and I would only take on people with 1 or 2 properties and a basement or a basement suite in their principal residence. Those people there, I can build custom proposals for, knock it out of the park, and make a ton of awesome content on. That's what I would do. Okay, so I'm just showing you different angles of this, and this isn't to scare you. Maybe it is to scare you. Whatever it takes to give you a kick in the frickin' ass to be different. And a lot of you are just being these crazy general mortgage people, and it's not going to work. Maybe you found lightning in a bottle now because we're coming out of the spring market, which was kind of good. A lot of you are having good months in July. I know that. So you're like, yeah, I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, you do. 100% you do. Like, you really do. And I'm not saying everyone needs to go on social, but I'm kind of saying, why wouldn't you be on social? So imagine how powerful, how much you'd cut through if your avatar was BFS. There's so many avatars, so many niches you could pick, but some of you are picking the niche just because it sounds cool, but it doesn't align with your strengths as a person and a broker, right? And you can go learn some strategies, but it doesn't mean you're good at explaining the strategy. So either you get better at that and you do Toastmasters and you learn to talk and stuff like that with a lot of repetitions on social, or you switch gears and you find something you're super passionate about that takes away those weaknesses, takes them off the table, and then you getting paid and earning revenue in your business isn't contingent on you crushing discovery calls, because that's the old way of brokering. If you're not on the phone, you're not making money. And then there's one last model I'm going to explain to you that I know people, and there's a couple on my team running this model, that their client journey, how much they care, is completely different than majority of the brokers out there. They care this saying of, I want to add value, I add value, work with me. It's a loose term that gets thrown out there so much, and a lot of you don't even know why you're saying it, how you're like, what are you doing to add? You can't even convince yourself that you're adding value. So you already have this imposter syndrome. Whereas the brokers that are adding value, truly caring, they're running their business, they're connecting with their clients in such ways that they don't care about the revenue. They take off their business hat and they put it over here. They're not on social media to make money. They're on to add value, create an environment, create a community, lead with their heart. They have a mortgage business built around a heart. And it's cool to see. I'm witnessing it firsthand, and their business is actually growing right now because people are craving connection. And this isn't something, there's no course where you can learn this. You have it inside you. Some of you want it to be so cut and dry what you do. If I do this, I get this. If I do 7 reels and I do this, I do 10 reach outs and 20 phone calls, I need applications, it's not working, this sucks. The people who are running their niche is how much they care and how they make the clients feel, and that ripples in. It's something you have to build over a long period of time. The ripple effect of the referrals that come back. People don't leave because they're leading with their heart. They get them in and then they help them with something. But they're not coming in because of the strategy. They're coming in because of how that person makes them feel and the energy they're putting out in the world. But you can't build a business like that thinking dollars and cents all the time. And I'm a dollars and cents guy. I can't build that, I don't want to say fluffy, but that organic heart-based business. I can't. I'll make people feel awesome when they're in one of my clients, but to get them in my world, I can't do that. I'm just not wired like that. I'm like, I want to run a business and make money. But I see the people doing that. Their business is actually growing in this time where other people is going down because they're like, I make this many phone calls, this many pickup, this many things, I buy down the rate, and all of a sudden they're left with 200,000 instead of 800,000. They have a bunch of staff, and they're saying the industry sucks and this is all broken. Well, their business was going to fail at some point. It just took longer than we thought. So I just want to share some of that. That's it. I do have to get going, but I just want you to start thinking a little differently about your business. Like, this is real go time stuff where you have to like sit there, look in the mirror and go, what the F? What am I doing? How am I doing this? Maybe watch this again. I talked fast there pretty quickly. It's my only way I know how to talk. But that's it. Okay. That's it, kids. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out.